Welcome back, guys, to another Dino Riders review, and we're going to look at in more detail the Japanese Torosaurus, just mainly the box. I've already reviewed the Torosaurus in detail, and this is just a video to compare the two boxes, and I'll also there is a difference with the figures as well, and I'll go through that and reference it to the book. So just a quick bit of info on this. I have three Taurosauruses in my collection. I have more minty box, which is in my display case. This is my other box that this particular Torosaurus came with. It's not as in perfect condition, and the Japanese Torosaurus box, I actually purchased the box itself. It didn't actually come with the Dino Rider itself, but I am building up a Japanese collection slowly. And the main difference is obviously the packaging and slight differences in the figures, but we'll get to that. So what I'll do is I'll remove the figure out of the way. As stated before, I've done a full detailed review on that, so please check that out. So before I get into more detail of the Japanese Torosaurus box, it's good to see both of them side by side or on top of each other, and you can kind of see they've gone for two different looks, where the English and European ones, they're obviously more cartoony and like drawn artwork or painted, and the Japanese style is more, it resembles like the catalogs or the TV commercials. And yeah, it's really looking a bit like with them both together, it's hard to pick a winner or which one I like more. Personally, like obviously the nostalgia is with the bottom box, but definitely I'm really enjoying the actual toy itself. So yeah, personally, it's a hard one to pick. You know, I really do love the Japanese style of the artwork with the actual figure itself. So yeah, it's a hard one to pick. So as you can see, we've got the picture of the toy itself, obviously in both triangles. Different colorways. Obviously this is more like the blue. This has got like more of a red and grey theme going on. It's good to see like they're both kind of like in the same battle position. We've got the T-Rex on the English box. Above we've got the Ankylosaurus that's about to do a cheeky missile there. I like how I think that's Antor, that's kind of hiding there behind the rock, and obviously there's no Deinonychus or other figure in front of it. Interesting things to see here is that's kind of black, that tripping mechanism, where it's usually blue, so it looks, that's a difference. And I do like the laser effects on the Japanese box. Like they look really awesome, like really bright, and it does actually look more like a laser than the effects on the English box. So what I'll do now is we'll have a more in look detail with the Japanese box. Actually, before I get to the Japanese box, I've turned them around so we can see the different effects of the same battle scene that we got happening on the two boxes. So obviously we got the Series 1 battle scene on the back of the Torosaurus, and we've got the similar battle scene with the Japanese one, and I do prefer the Japanese battle scene more. It looks a bit more. Yeah, it doesn't look as childish. It looks a bit more like a like more's going on there in that battle scene with the effects. But anyway, let's have a look at the Japanese box properly now. So here we have the box in all its glory. It really does remind me of the TV commercials. Just a few things to point out before I bring it up closer. That's black, the Tripper, and everything else is chrome. So usually this was blue, if you remember, with the toy, so it never came in black. And this D sign here is actually the sign for the Valorians. So for the Japanese Dino Riders, they gave them symbols for the Valorians and Rulons, kind of like the Transformers, Autobots and Decepticons. So they kept with that kind of theme. And D5 I think stands for Dino Rider 5, I guess. I'm not too sure. So let's have a closer look. Really awesome. Great lighting even for something from like 1988, 89. See the effects of those lasers. Grouse. And we've got Gunner there. And I'll get to a difference there with Gunner. We've got the figures there. And actually, this picture is different as well. So as you can see, you can actually see Gunner and Magnus, where usually they're a bit different. So we've got Magnus saying hello there. Here we have the box in all its Japanese glory. A few differences that I'll point out in more detail. So this tripping mechanism is black, where it's actually blue. So I've never seen a black one before, so that's interesting to see. And we've got the D here. In the Japanese Dino Riders, the Rulons and Valorians had their own symbols, similar to Transformers that had Autobots and Decepticons. And D5, I'm guessing that's Dino Rider 5. And also, with this picture compared to the other version, we've got Magnus standing here, giving a hello, where the English box, European box doesn't have that. So let's have a closer look quickly. Just really reminds me of the commercials so much. That's why it's so appealing. Look at that nice bright laser. We've got Gunner there as well. It's a tripping mechanism. We've got the hook as well. That might be black too. I didn't know. Yeah, that's black as well. That's actually blue. And they loved using a lot of chrome on the artwork there for the Japanese, even the Rulons. So you can see that arrow, the crossbow is chrome. It's got a rocky scene. Get to Magnus there, saying hello. Got Gunner there. Yeah, could even be a dark blue than black. It's hard to tell. Okay, so let's have a look at the top of the box. Pretty similar to the English version. It actually says it here with Gunner and Magnus, where it doesn't say that on the front, so that's interesting. Got the walking mechanism. Got Taurosaurus's head on that side. More or less the same on this side. And we've got the back, which is really interesting, quite different. So we've got the battle scene going on. We've got, I guess, the hierarchy there of the Valorians. We've got a bit of bios there. We've got a skull there as well of the Torosaurus. So let's bring it up closer. So I'm not sure what that says. I haven't translated it. There we got our two heroes. Questa there. Mind's Eye turret. Let's have a look at this battle scene. Very similar. Pretty cool stuff. Very, very 70s, 1980s style. Really awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'll bring out the book and I'll show the other difference with the figures. So I've got the handy Dino Riders guide here, Ultimate Collector's Guide. Highly recommend this book. So let's go to Magnus here. So the difference is it's in the eyes. So on the left we've got the standard release that everyone will probably know, should know. And then we've got the Japanese Magnus. And all it is the eyes, black eyes. And I'll turn the page. And we'll go to Gunner. And same thing. Black eyes compared to blue eyes. So that's the main differences anyway. And while we've got the book here, I'll show the Japanese Torosaurus. As we looked, that's how it is in the guide, very nice, and that's how the instructions look. I don't have the instructions, unfortunately. So that wraps up the video. So I hope you enjoyed this, something different. I've got about 6 of the Japanese Dino Riders so far. So I've got another 5 that I'm going to slowly review and compare. But definitely this box has a lot of appeal to it. Even though we're nostalgic with the original artwork, this does remind us, or reminds me anyway, of the commercial. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this Dino Riders video, and I'll see you guys next time.